Hey guys, Travis here on week 6 of the LCS. I'm joined by Xpecial from TSM after the very first day. They're 2-0 right now with Wildturtle. We also have Misfortune's Breasts right behind us, so that's kind of a nice thing, nice backdrop. How you doing, Xpecial?
Hi. I actually had no idea those things are there. I mean, Travis is pointing them out. It's Travis' fault.
Wow, wow. I mean, you're like Chaox plays Misfortune a lot. I'm surprised you didn't notice that.
Oh, really? I didn't notice. I mean, I would I mean, come on. I respect the champion for who she is.
Okay, I see. Pure, virtuous, Xpecial. So anyway, Wildturtle got a pentakill, and there's a lot of drama about Chaox, and things are crazy for TSM Snapdragon right now. So how are you feeling after day one with Wildturtle?
Well, I honestly don't feel like our team performance is amazing. It's been alright. The second game was, it was pretty good. The first game was pretty rough. Wildturtle is doing alright. I mean, Chaox and Wildturtle have different playstyles, so it's kind of hard to factor in both after just 2 games with Wildturtle. But he's doing fine.
So as a support player, you mentioned that they have very different playstyles. It feels like Wildturtle very aggressive. That's sort of what he's known for. What's it like for you to have to adapt to that?
For me, it's not so much. Okay, Chaox plays a style that hasn't really changed much, and he's played 80 for very long. And when I play support with him, it's like, oh, okay, well, I'm pretty much always going to be in front of him, sort of thing. Right. And now when I play with Turtle, I try to get in front of him, but he's always pretty much in the front. And it's different. It means I have to try hard to peel people off. While Turtle versus Chaox, usually he's pretty much okay.
Yeah. He plays much more safe, right?
Yeah, well, that's one way to put it. But yeah, Wildturtle you always see him in the front, and I remember there was that one potential kill on Karthus. This guy was in the front, in front of 2 tanks, and he was like, "Guys, we should get him." And then everyone was like, "Oh yeah, you're right," sort of thing. Yeah.
So it's just a different experience. All right, so I saw you do that interview earlier with Riot, and I feel like everybody wants to sort of talk about, is Wildturtle going to replace Chaox? Is this break going to go longer? Well, Wildturtle got a pentakill, so that must mean he's coming in, right? So let's get a little meta right now and talk about how you sort of approach this situation, and is there a chance, right? I guess I'll ask the question also sort of how's it for you having to sort of deal with this stuff when you come down here and this is the big storyline?
Well, it's a pretty tough question. I've played with Chaox for so long, and then Wildturtle's here and he's performing pretty well. I don't know what's going to happen beyond this week, but regardless, the idea is for the team to be able to progress and improve and just be stronger. We don't want to make a change that would hurt the team, obviously. So Wildturtle, does he have a chance? Yes. I'm not going to deny that. But is the chance kind of slim? It's hard to tell. It really depends on his performance, his overall attitude, and like I said in the interview with D-Man, TSM has never benched someone for their performance. It's always about their attitude. And if you have a good attitude, generally you'll play well. If you're confident, if you're able, if you're willing to improve, you're going to play well. That's kind of generally how anything is. I mean, if you're at top level, you just have to look for ways to improve.
So is it weird for you to sort of be dealing with all this? I mean, this is the first time in I guess a year and a half that you guys have had a lot of questions coming at you and a lot of discussion about a possible roster change. Is it just sort of a strange experience for you to come down here and get asked all these questions?
Well, it's expected. I mean, people want to know what the scoop is. But luckily, a lot of it, I guess it's unfortunate too. A lot of it's on GameCrib, and people have have more attention to stuff like that. I mean, they see what's happening. They want to know even deeper. And that's really all I have to say about that.
There's actually, speaking about GameCrib, there's been a lot of discussion, and I ended up talking about this on Who's League, and I know it's been discussed amongst even some of the casters we've seen. I feel like a lot of the community is having a hard time believing or taking in a lot of the stuff they're seeing on GameCrib just because it's completely uncensored. It's the first time to my knowledge, that a League of Legends team has been so out there with everything. And obviously, especially when you guys were living in New York, you guys would sometimes leave the streams on and there'd be some arguments or whatever. But I mean, just to clarify, this is sort of how it works for you guys, right? Like this is, I know right now it's a little bit more drama filled than normal, but this is how it is for League of Legends teams, right?
I think we're a bit of an exception because we've been together for so long. We were not really afraid to give our opinions to each other, and that's why you see so many so many just uh, arguments. Cause it's not really because we're arguing so much. It's more like we disagree sometimes, and we're willing to have that be known. And now it's just unfortunately like GameCrib is capturing all that, so it seems like as if we're faking it. Where in actuality, when we have an argument, we're pretty much okay either like in a few hours or the next day. Like it doesn't linger over us, and that's one of the big things you've learned after being a team for so long.
I mean, it seems like that's something that sort of goes along with being a longer standing team because, I mean, you and I have both seen other teams. I won't name specifically any others, but ones that have been around for a very long time, like yourself, that but have similar situations after games. You know, like there was a team today that lost that. You know, I saw them out, and they were all sort of going through a similar argument and very frustrated with each other. So, do you think that that's just sort of like the case for these teams that have been around for a lot longer? There's a lot of emotion going and a lot of just openness about their feelings towards each other.
I think so. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you guys had a game crib of CLG or even Curse, like these guys will probably argue just as much as we do, if not more. So it's people keep saying it's staged, but honestly, it's not. And I mean, you can. I mean, I can't convince you. Like, if you I think it's staged, my saying it now won't convince you. But I'm gonna say it's not staged, and you can believe me if you want.
So speaking of CLG, after those games, we saw a lot of discussion, especially after the first game and Wildturtles. Pentakillin has pretty good performance there on Twitter about this kind of thing. I think Doublelift tweeted something like "See ya, Chaox." It got and Chaox and Doublelift always have had this really long rivalry, right? I think Doublelift, after obviously being, in my opinion, being the reason their bot lane being the reason why they fell so behind really quickly in the game that they played today. You know, we saw Chaox fire back with a comment about how he's like, well, did Wei Zhao teach you how to go 0-3-2 in that game or whatever, 0-3-1? And then they some more back and forth or whatever. But you've had your own run-ins on Twitter with certain players that'll go nameless. What's it like for you whenever, what's it like in these situations where some of these emotions are kind of running high and you have access to like social media stuff, people sort of start calling you out? Like, is this just sort of the norm? Is this what we should be expecting?
Well, I don't know why Doublelift does all that, but if you're calling someone out, you're gonna get a response most of the time. I mean, only times I've ever blew up on anyone on Twitter was when I was called out, and I don't think that's a big problem. You call me out, and you're gonna get something for that. And it's same idea. Like, if you're gonna be really confident, really cocky, and call people out, then you better have like the performance to back it up. When Doublelift said that, like he was being very cocky. He's like he was asking for it essentially, and then he plays super bad in the next game, and then who wouldn't talk back? That's just how it is.
Well, so I don't mean for you to speak for him. Obviously, he's not here, but as the bot lane duo, you know, Chaox obviously knew, and I'm sure you haven't spoken with him because you've been busy playing the games or whatever, but he knew what the case was, and you've sort of been talking to him throughout the week. Do you have any insight into what his general attitude right now is about all this stuff? Is he trying to, you know, sort of being motivated and has he accepted it, or what's his general state of mind, if as far as you can tell?
I think he feels I messed up, and it looks like he's making an effort to reevaluate his position and really sort of step it up again and just reclaim his spot. Because right now, it's not like he deserves that spot back. It's more like he has to earn that spot back. And if he doesn't, then, well, I'm not sure if he'll come back. But hopefully he just steps it up again and makes sure that we are confident in his play again and just confident in his attitude. Because his attitude at MLG Dallas was really poor, and we were all very upset at him. But afterwards, his attitude again was not very good. I mean, he wasn't exactly apologetic, and it's not an attitude that you should have when you're the one that's kind of screwed up. So again, it's gonna be up to him to step back up.
All right, so just sort of wrapping up the interview, you have any shout-outs or plugs you want to make?
Yeah, of course. As usual, I think our fans are always awesome, and I thank all our sponsors: Qualcomm Snapdragon, Asus, Astro, Corsair, Gunners, Origin PC, Kingston HyperX, and Ventrilo.
Nailed it. Hey, I really appreciate the interview. Lots of great insight, as always. Thanks, everyone, for watching. This has been day 1 of the LCS for week 6. You can check out the rest of our LCS coverage at gamespot.com/LCS.